This is a video to help you set up a proportion from a word problem and then to solve that proportion. Let's look at the problem and see how we do it. The problem is the ratio of girls to boys in 7th grade at Ashley Laura Middle School is 7 to 5. If there are 126 girls, how many boys are there? Whenever I set up a proportion like this, I always start by making a double number line, like this. After I make my double number line, now I have to fill it in to help me set up the proportion. I do that by reading the first sentence. The ratio of girls to boys in 7th grade at Ashley Laura Middle School is 7 to 5. So I write down that ratio, and the ratio is 7 to 5. After I write down the ratio of the numbers, then I ask myself, what do each of those numbers stand for? Well, the ratio is of girls to boys, and there are 7 to 5. That means that there's 7 girls and 5 boys. So because of that, I'm going to put girls up on top, and I'm going to put the boys on the bottom of my double number line. Now I can read the rest of the problem and see where the 126 goes. It says, if there are 126 girls, how many boys are there? Since 126 is girls, that's got to go on the top of my double number line. And then I don't know how many boys there are, so I'm going to do that by putting down X, or question mark. If I squint at this, I can kind of see a proportion. I can see 7 divided by 5 is equal to 126 divided by X. So there's my proportion right there. Now to solve this proportion, I'm going to multiply by both denominators. The first one I want to do is I want to get rid of the X on the denominator on my right side of the proportion. The way I do that is by multiplying by X, or X over 1, on both sides of the proportion. Notice on the right hand side of the proportion, I have an X in the numerator and an X in the denominator. Those two X's are going to reduce or cancel each other out. So I'm just left with 126 divided by 1, which is 126. The other side, I have X times 7 divided by 1 times 5. That's just going to be 7x divided by 5. I've gotten rid of one of the fractions. Now I've got to get rid of the other fraction on the left-hand side. The way I do that is by multiplying by the denominator. My denominator on the left-hand side is 5. So I'll multiply both sides by 5 over 1. Now on the left side of the equation, I have a 5 in the numerator and a 5 in the denominator. Those two 5's are just going to cancel each other out, so I'm just going to be left with 7x on the left-hand side. That's going to be equal to 126 times 5 divided by 1. Well, 126 times 5 is 630. So on the right side of the equation, I have 630. So I'm left with 7x is equal to 630. And to solve that, I'm just going to divide both sides by 7. When I take 7x divided by 7, I get x. If I multiply 630 divided by 7, I'm going to be equal to 90. So the answer for this question is x is equal to 90. So that means that there's going to be 126 girls and 90 boys at Ashley Laura Middle School.